been a busy morning. I have this journal that I just did a video on and posted on YouTube. I realized it's time for this to go. So I'm going to get my spring backdrop out, and I'm working on Honey's office, which looks like a terrible shit show. But there's a lot of leftover Christmas stuff that we didn't pack up. So we're working in the garage today. I'm getting things together for the new little house. And I've been in here packing pillows. I found another big zipper bag I can put stuff in. And I had bought these a while ago for here. And they didn't work where I wanted them to. And I didn't take them back because they were $19.99 and they were 70% off. So I'm going to put these in the take to the new house pile. So his office looks bad, but the rest of the house looks pretty good. I got a bag of fabric. This is where I put my purse every day. So I got a bag of fabric. I got to cut that for the new bandanas for the store. This is his little cigarette making station. So I told him, I said, cigarettes are too expensive. So now, I know, I've had people tell me he needs to stop smoking. Duh. Of course he needs to stop smoking, but it doesn't work that way. You can't just say it and there, it is. So he makes his own cigarettes now. I got this for him at the thrift store one day. It's a Ray Dunn, and he loves it. It's his favorite mug. Okay, I got the front door open. The glass opens. Remember, I think we told you, but you probably don't remember because it's been a long time. So it's really nice. We got the back door open. We call that open door policy for the dogs. And I have this packed, and I'm working on this one. I forgot we had these really nice towels that we don't use. So I'm packing those up. And there he is out there coming in, probably to say, when are you coming out here? I have to tell you, I was so glad to open up the cabinet that has all the pawn stuff in it and find this. Because this is expensive. It's like $400. But what this does is it kills the algae. So, yay, happy to find that. Okay. And then I got the beneficial bacteria that needs to go in. But I'm going to wait till later today because it says it's better when the temperatures are above 50 degrees. It's 50 degrees right now. I checked the thermometer in the pond, and I'm going to feed them for the first time. And you're going to come along with me. There's my little rubber ducky area that I'm going to start kind of tidying things up. These succulents, I'm sure I've told you guys, they multiply. They make what's called babies. And I am excited to take some of those babies with me to where we're going. Here we go. Let's see what happens. They may have forgotten what it's like to eat, because they've just been eating algae for 6 months. There they go. They're like, oh, this stuff's pretty good. So yeah, all of those guys made it. They made it through the winter, through the frozen covered pond, where the only space that was open was right here by the waterfall. So we literally lost no one. Now, we did lose, I think, 2 right before winter, and I'm not sure why. But they are happy to be fed. And it's time to go clean out that algae. Actually, Honey's going to put that new ion gen in later today. He doesn't know it yet, but he's going to. And yeah. I want to show you guys this. I think I showed it once a month or so ago. But this Sprite is super delicious. 0 sugar, cherry lime, 0 calories. It is very good. So if you want something diet that doesn't leave an aftertaste, this. Okay, he told me I was going to want a hoodie, but I didn't put one on. There is the beautiful Bronco. The other Bronco is with Blake. Blake is in town and he borrowed it. Since he lets us borrow his truck, we feel obligated to let him borrow ours. Only fair. Here's our project for today. And over there. And he's freaking out because this is out in the driveway and we got some dark clouds. So we'll see what happens. So 1 minute it's fine. The next minute it's snowing and thundering. And it looks like it's gonna pass pretty quick, but you gotta get the baby inside. How's that for loud? Can you see the snow? Crazy. Okay, this is something that I altered, gosh, year and a half ago. And this is the theme for the whole new little house. I love this. That's it. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes since I made the other video. And it's sticking. Hear the thunder? Honey's like, you're right, it's not gonna rain today. Okay. Look at our bipolar weather. And look who's over there. He hates it when I video him. Hey guys, it is Tuesday. I think it's the 5th or the 6th, something like that. And it is snowing like crazy. There you go. I know some of you have said you're going to really miss these pictures, so I figured I'd get on here. This might be our last big snowstorm of the year. We might get still some, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches, but this one's going to be a lot. It's supposed to snow all night. And Honey is not home. I took him to the airport this morning. He is going to go meet the all the people that are doing the land prep. Yeah. I'll tell you more about that in a bit. Hey guys, I am crafting this morning. It is Wednesday, the 7th of May. I was supposed to change that on Sunday and I forgot. So hopefully I'll remember when I get done with this video. I don't know what to do about these. I even put this through the fluff cycle and everything because it's kind of plasticky, so I didn't want to put the heat on it. But does anybody know how to get those wrinkles out of these things? Let me know. All right, I'm going to show you. Look what's going on out here. Oh, look at that. May the 7th. Yep. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you something else. Not that. But I love my sun catchers. Okay, so a lot of you guys guessed correctly which property. This is it. This is the property that we purchased, and it's probably not the one I would have picked, but since we've been back, there is a reason I'm really glad we picked this one. So you can see how close we are to the lake. The lakefront properties are usually like a half acre, a quarter acre, maybe 3/4 of an acre, but we could not get, this is 3.66 acres. So we couldn't get anything that large I couldn't find it on a lake anywhere for that price. And this property has water and electric and natural gas at the road. So that is good. It's already cleared, so we don't have to pay for that. Yeah. And we should have a house on it by August. So if you guess the last property, dun, 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 you win. Hi guys. Okay, so I was hoping to do a video with Honey, but he's gone to Oklahoma. He is there meeting with the utility people, the driveway people, the pad people, the septic people, all the people. And so he's gone, and he is driving. He flew into Dallas yesterday, and now he is driving this morning to the property, and then we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it goes very well, because we have to have all the estimates to the mortgage company before they can move forward with our loan. So anyway, everybody's excited because the whole family will have a place to, I don't know what you call it, gather and just, you know, have a great time. So the house will sleep 1, 2, 3, 4 people, and the camper will be there, and the camper sleeps 4 people. So we're gonna have some good times out there. We really are. The kids are already talking about buying jet skis and stuff like that, and I'm like, well, I guess we'll have room to house all the toys. So anyway, that's what's going on right now. Let me tell you a little bit about our last trip. So we went to southern Arkansas first, which that was Magnolia, which is where we originally found that piece of land that we just, I mean, still, of everything, that was still the most perfect piece of land. Just so unfortunate that couldn't put a septic there. So anyway, Honey is really excited about this piece of property. He loves it. It's like totally open, and there's just very little trees. And he assures me he's going to dig some holes, and we're going to plant some trees. At this point, it's a little too late to plant them for spring, but we could plant them in the fall. They say it's always better to plant trees in slightly cooler weather, not the hottest part. Now, so when we went to Magnolia, all the properties that we saw there were very heavily wooded. And there was one that was 16.8 acres, I think. And that one really stayed at the top of our list while we were there. Some of the other properties were like 3 acres, but the 16.8 acres was very intriguing. I wouldn't even call it a bad thing. It was just a thing we would have to deal with, is that, I'm sorry, I'm crafting. That property at the very back of the property had what do they call it? Lowlands. So it was right at the edge of the property, maybe just like, maybe 1 acre total was what they call lowlands. And it's kind of swampy. So the guy, the realtor was like, you guys could, kept talking about a pond. This would be a great place to dig a pond. And I'm thinking to myself, if it's already swampy, how are you going to get equipment in there to dig a pond? And what really good is a pond if I can't see it from the house? And if it's at the very back of 16, almost 17 acres, no. So anyway, I wasn't so sold on it. Plus, it had to be cleared, which was going to be expensive. $2,000 to $4,000 an acre was the estimate that we got. And I'm like, that's a big difference. 2 to 4. That's like double. Anyway, so then we went to Middle Arkansas, and we saw that property that had the horse. And I liked that property. And I liked that the houses around it were mostly nice. One of the houses next to it was clearly an older home. It wasn't trashed, but it was leaning in that direction. But I did like that property. And then we looked at a couple more there. One of them was like off of a cliff, and I'm like, why are you even bringing us here? We want land. And then the last property she showed us was the one with the downed tree. Well, there was 2 with downed trees. But it looked like a tornado had definitely been through there in the last week. There was a, what do you call it? Carport in the tree. I don't know why I didn't do a video of it, but the carport was in the tree. So, yeah. And that was a decent property, but it was kind of laid out weird. And there was a place that they called a pond that to me just looked like a moat. The water was black. It looked like scary stuff was in there. And I didn't think it was a pond. I think it was just, bleh. Didn't like it. So, then we drove to, where did we drive to? We drove a long time that afternoon. We went to the border of Oklahoma and Arkansas. And then the next day we started looking at properties in Oklahoma. So there was one. We went to Lake Eufaula. I'm going to tell you a funny story. When the boys were much younger, Shane would have been probably 20 and Blake would have been like 15 or 16. They used to talk about moving together to Lake Eufaula. Yeah, it was like, Oklahoma? Why would you go to Oklahoma? So their philosophy was not the cost of living is much cheaper there. Their philosophy was, there's a really cool lake, this giant lake, and we're going to go live there, buy land, and put up this big building, and we're going to work on cars, and it's going to be great. We're just going to be buds the rest of our lives. So anyway, we get to Lake Eufaula, and we're like so excited to see this property. This property, it's funny because the listing on Zillow did not have any pictures of the property. It just pinged it on a map and showed how close it was to the lake, which was literally, if you walked, it was like 3 minutes to the lake, maybe 2. However, and I'm going to be honest, when we were driving to it, I saw the problem, but once we got to the problem disappeared until we left the property. And so there were, okay, so when you're driving, you come in off and you're driving and you're kind of like a little bit windy and stuff. There were a lot of trailers. Now, I'm talking 1960s trailers, like metal trailers. Now, imagine, let's even say 1970. That's a 55-year-old metal trailer. There was rust on them. The skirting was like half on, half off. Their decks were dilapidated. There was trash piled, just junk everywhere. And like I said, driving in, I could see it, but I was so excited to be by the lake. I was just like, well, let's see what the property looks like. So we get to the property and we get out, and it's like angels are singing to me. This property is absolutely stunning. So it was the one where I said it feels kind of gloomy and dark, but I pointed the camera up and I said it's because it's really dark, gloomy and dark outside, not because the property itself is gloomy and dark. It had large trees. It had lots of foliage that would shade the property and the house. It needed very minimal clearing that Honey and I could have done ourselves. And it was 3.5 acres. So I loved it. I didn't want to look at anything else. And then as we were going out, I was like, oh. And as much as I liked it, what Honey said to me was, if something happens to me and you were the only one living here, would you feel safe? And at that point, I had to say no, I wouldn't. And then, there had to be like this little, I hate to use the word grieving because there's grieving, and then this was just kind of like I had to get over it kind of thing. But yeah, I would not have felt safe or comfortable there. So that was out. So then we went and looked at the property that we picked. And it was kind of like, okay, so a while back, Honey got real tired of talking to me about the house. And he finally just said, you pick the house. You put whatever accessories you want. I don't care. Just you pick the house and let me pick the land. And I was kind of like, well, I need a voice in the land. And whereas I wanted something with trees, we'll put it that way. I did love that it was super close to the lake. So the lake is like maybe a 5-minute walk. I mean, you can see in the picture, it's right there. But there's this road and it kind of comes around and down, and that's how you have to walk to the lake. Now, if you want to drive to the boat ramp, maybe 3 minutes in the car, 2 to 3 minutes in the car, because the boat ramp's in a different, you kind of have to go, there's like a peninsula, and then you go around, and that's where the boat dock is. So anyway, but the reason why I am really glad we picked the property that we picked is because since we've been home, I think we were home 3 days, and I found a tick on me. And then at 5 days, I found another tick. And this morning, I found another tick. Super gross. So, yeah, all those properties with trees and everything. I mean, I obviously I picked up 3 ticks while we were gone because I don't get, we don't groom dogs with ticks. We don't have ticks anywhere near where we are. I don't know why, but there's no, because there's a gazillion trees, as you could see, but we don't have ticks. So I'm thinking, because I kind of dipped down under those 2 trees that had fallen, because there was enough room where I could bend over and kind of scoot underneath them. And I think that's when I picked up those ticks. And I am just very happy we did not get any of those properties, because that would just super gross me out to be worried about ticks all the time, not just on me, but the dogs. So anyway, things are going well with the whole process. Well, Honey got a little anxiety the other day because there's so much to do. And I have the parts that are my job, and he has the parts that are his job. And this part, the traveling part, and meeting all the people, that's his. Finding the properties to look at was my job. And yeah, I feel good about our decision. At first, I was just like, oh, I feel like I'm being forced into this. I don't like it, but I like it now. I like it because they can literally just get everything done quicker. And it's funny, I was talking to the house lady the other day, and she said, I said to her, I said, so, don't you just hate it when that happens? You totally lose your train of thought. I was talking to the house lady, and it's gone. I should probably go and refill my tea because it's up, it's done, and I'll be back. Okay, guys, the sun came out and it's so bright I can't even open both eyes. Oh my gosh. Whew. That's a pretty good March. No, this isn't March. May snowstorm. So I got some dark stuff back there. That's not blue. It looks kind of blue, but it's actually dark. Look at that tree back there. Wow. Well, let's see what the temperature says. It says 36 degrees. So it's pretty warm. It'll melt off quick. Well, okay, maybe it'll melt off in like 3 or 4 days. Okay, here's the front. And guess what? The neighbor is snow blowing for me. Alan asked him to, so he's rocking it. Okay, we are so lucky. The plows usually come through no problem, and this morning they came through just before 7. So, honey was suggesting I just call in. It takes a lot for me to call in. It takes food poisoning for me to call in. So, yeah, I didn't do that. But, yeah, the trees are not digging this heavy snow. They are weighed down for sure. But anyway, yeah, this is great. They didn't come down our specific street, but we're just like 2 houses from the end, so I just kind of plowed through it. But they did plow our main neighborhood road. And they're probably in the back of the neighborhood finishing plowing back there and going to work their way back. But yeah, it's awesome. It's May, and this is what we got. I love it. Okay, so we got one of these, and we got one of these, and those two together makes that. Hey guys, it's Monday. Yesterday was Mother's Day. We had a really nice day. We did a lot of things together. Spring cleaning, actually. And we had a good time. Ended with a nice meal, a hot tub, and now I'm getting ready to paint a few things. I'm going to paint this flat clock. That's going to go in the little house. I'm going to paint this bench. It's going to go on the front porch of the little house. And also this very vintage cabinet that will go on the front porch of the little house. So I'm going to get going and show you along the way. Okay, look what I've got back here. Tires. Time to go do my tire change from, what do you call it? Snow tires to regular tires. I just had 20 inches of snow less than a week ago. Look at my handsome man and his nice vehicle. Who got you that vehicle?
Some lady, I don't know.
Some lady? Your favorite lady? What are you talking about? Orange shopping cart. Guess where we're at?
Big Lots.
Big Lots. Big Lots ain't even a thing anymore.
They had those shopping carts.
They did. Okay, here we are at the stoplight with the view. But I like this view better. Hey, baby. Oh, well, we're going to kind of miss this, but it's okay because we're going to be at the lake. At the lake. At the lake. Well, it's springtime on the mountain, and we get lots of wind. You can, let's wait and see. Yep, there we go. Listen how loud it is. I mean, these are just little tiny gusts. Okay. There we go. And it's cold. But got a little bit of snow last night. Look at these trees. Okay, I just pulled up at the shopping center where the shop is. And look, you can see. Look at that. So those are the mountains. When you come over the hill, I've showed you guys before. When you come over the hill, going to my house, that's what you see, but not that far away. Okay, I'm not sure if I've shown this, but there's the Goodwill, the Ace Hardware, Animal Hospital's behind the tree over there, and there's a big grocery store. We're right next to Salon Services and Papa Murphy's. And I'm going to show you the front of the shop. It's really cute. Look how cute. This is our little photo booth area. It's so cute. And all these cute little pictures for sale. And I love that dog. Whew. Well, this is what the mountains look like today. Isn't it pretty? My best friend asked me, how are you going to leave there? Why are you going to leave there? And I said, it's just too blue here. And it's too expensive here. And, you know, it's just the next chapter of our life. Well, I finished 1, 2, 3 journals that I had been working on for probably a week. Yeah, a week. And I'm starting a new journal. It has been cold and rainy all day. You can see the trees are all wet. And I'm getting ready to go fix dinner. We're having street tacos tonight. And I changed my background, finally. So, hold on, let me turn this around. So, I just wanted to tell you, I am going to start doing more small, what do I want to call it? Smalls, and flipping different smaller items that I'm going to paint and decoupage and distress and all the things. And I'm going to start selling them in my Etsy store. So I was supposed to start this weekend working out in my building again. And unfortunately, because it's so rainy outside, that didn't work out. But Honey's going to be gone next weekend. He is going to Dallas, and a lot of things have happened, and we really need to sit down and do a video together and talk to you guys and tell you the updates that have happened on our purchasing the land and the tiny house, and what the direction is now for that, because things have changed and there's a lot of reasons. So I'm hoping to get him to sit down with me tomorrow. Sorry I haven't videoed a lot lately, but anyway, my point was he's going to be gone next. He leaves Thursday and he'll be back Monday. So I'm going to have a lot of time to paint and have fun. So we'll see you guys later. Bye. Hey, I was just going to do a video of you and you ran away. Here's Sheevy's. Sheevy had a diagnosis this week. Her has Cushing's.
Are we certain?
We're pretty certain. We're like 95%. There's Sandy. There's Rizzo. Anyway, we're going out. We don't do this very often. Don't do it very often at all. But it's been rainy and gloomy and the sun came out, so we're gonna go. There's my mom's tree. It still lights up with Christmas lights. Honey took down all the Christmas lights, but he said your mom needed to keep the lights on her tree. Yep. And this waterfall fills up from those. Honey dug a trench down, and there's a pipe that runs water into that waterfall. So, whoo, it is full right now. All right, off we go. Okay, here we are. El Tapatio. My honey likes Mexican food. But we won't be eating outdoors because, as you can see, it could rain at any moment. We are in Golden, Colorado. And it's beautiful here. That's the emergency room I went to when I got food poisoning. Why are you hitting me? I get dirt on my pants when I get out of the car because it's muddy. Hi guys. We're on our way to the airport. Yeah, the airport. But not to go look at land or anything like that. He's barely awake, so I guess I'll talk to you a lot. So what's going on? All right. So I think we told you that Honey went to Oklahoma. He met with all the contractors to get all the bids on infrastructure. Septic, electric, water, the pad, the driveway, all the things. So he went and did that. We got all the information back, and everything was relatively within the price range that we were expecting, except the electric. So the electrical was okay. It was the electric company who wanted to charge us a $6,000 deposit until we moved there full time. And we have to move there full time within 5 years, or we lose the $6,000. Now, we would definitely move there within 5 years, because if I don't sell the shop, we're just going to pull up chalks and go anyway. I'll just close it. So we knew we'd get our money back, but we had a real issue with them wanting to hold $6,000. So we really thought it through, and we were like, okay. The first property fell through because it wouldn't perk for a septic. And I'm not sure if I told you guys, but there was a reason that I really thought that property was going to be the property, and that is when I got the contract to sign, when we sent in, when they responded, we found out that one of the people, there was multiple owners because the property had been inherited, and one of the owners' name was Grace Lelani. Well, my middle name is Lelani, and my mother's name is Grace. So I was just like, this has got to be it. This has got to be it. So the day after we decided Oklahoma wasn't going to be the property for us because of the $6,000 deposit, that exact area got hit by a tornado. Boy, you're being awful quiet.
We're talking.
So, got hit by a tornado. Then there were multiple tornadoes in that area for about a week, right?
Yeah, pretty close.
So we really felt like we dodged a tornado. Get it? Yeah, and a tornado shelter was going to be $4,500, and we weren't excited about that either. We weren't excited about the whole tornado thing at all. So anyway, so we decided to take a break. We just were feeling overwhelmed by the whole process, and we learned a lot of things. So we're like, let's take a break, and then after we kind of recuperated from this whole process, we'll get back to it. And it's kind of a good thing because, as I've mentioned before, you guys know that Honey did meet the VA qualifications for the 100% disability. And we're waiting on that settlement, and we thought, we should just wait till the settlement comes instead of trying to do this with our regular income. So that's where we're at with that, and it feels kind of good. Taking a break. We both on numerous occasions have just been like, oh my God, I'm so glad we're taking a break, because it was overwhelming. I think if it was within the same state, probably wouldn't be, but having to get on a plane and go there and get a hotel and all that stuff. But you know what? Here's the really good part, is all those flights and all those hotels were paid for with the points I had on my credit card that we used to build out the shop. So all of that paid off. So anyway, Honey is going to Dallas. He's going to spend a few days with Blake and Lauren. Another long story about our camper. So we sold our camper to his brother, and his brother, we just let him take over payments. So, that was bad. Stupid guys go back there going like 10 miles an hour. So anyway, when he bought our camper, not long after he bought our camper, maybe the next month, was when I surprised Honey with the Bronco. And we could trade in his pickup truck to get the Bronco, because we didn't need it to pull the camper anymore. And we knew it wasn't going to be able to pull as much, so we got a little trailer so he could go to Home Depot and stuff like that. But anyway, now we find ourselves needing a truck again. So Blake has a truck. He really wants to sell it. He was pretty upside down in it, so he knew he wasn't going to be able to just sell it in the open market. So we worked out an agreement where he eats the upside down and we pay what it's worth, and Honey's going to go pick up his truck. So we know it's been well cared for and maintenance and all those things, and then we'll have a truck again, and we can pull the camper and we can pull the cargo trailer, and it'll just be better for us when we move, because then we have a vehicle we can pull stuff with. And there you go. That's the latest. And my arm is killing me from holding this phone like this the whole time. So say goodbye, honey.
Bye-bye.